Hello everyone, welcome back. In this episode, I'm going to be upgrading my mining system on the SDN H4 Ambition. We'll be continuing our mission to take an SSTO to Laythe. In the last episode, we launched, got into orbit, got landed nicely on Minmus. Everything went pretty well. But my ISRU, I don't have quite enough cooling on board. So this rover I'm driving right now is the Mac. This is my refueling general purpose rover for Minmus. But it has a bit of extra cooling on it. I don't use these extra two small panels, the small radiator panels. So I'm going to be pulling these off using the EVA construction that was added recently, so that I don't have to launch a whole new ship just because of a silly design flaw. As soon as we get closer here, these motors are doing something weird where, like, even on 0, they don't go to 0. It still wants to accelerate me a little bit, which I'm a little annoyed by, but whatever. And we're stopped. It still says the motors are trying. These stupid wheels. Whatever. So let's switch to you. We'll get Calguard out here. You can do the damage. So first things... Actually, I guess I can just do this from the ladder that's already built in. I don't need to attach a ladder. I just fed the rats, and they act like they've never been fed in their lives. So I can't quite reach that from where I'm at. So let's go over here, a little bit closer, and take you. To start with, we're just gonna stick it. Just tack it down, and then I'm going to move back over to the Ambition. I can't move it out that far. I can set it on the ground. And I'm going to tack it directly to the ISRU. So grab you. Make sure I'm sticking it to the right thing. This is a little bit tough because I'm gonna have to stick it down inside, and then I'm gonna have to wait. I can move with a part in my hand? Okay, that's new. Oh, kind of. Neat. Anyway. I had that way overheated. It's a good thing I had an engineer on board. You can blow shit up doing that if you do it wrong enough. I really hope I have enough power once I get all the way out there. You might look at this setup and see two Gigantors and think, man, you have way overkill power, but like there's no sun out on Laythe, like at all. There's no sun. So I'm a little concerned about having enough even with all of the panel that I've got. Although I'm dropping off some a couple of these RTGs I'm dropping off at the Laythe station, and that station has a bunch of extra, well, I shouldn't say extra, it doesn't have enough power either, but it does have some Gigantors and other solar panels attached to it that I might yank. I think this specific shuttle is probably just going to live on Laythe once I get there. I'm just going to use this as my back and forth. I don't actually have anything out there that can readily get between the surface and orbit of Laythe, so having a self-refueling SSTO like this will be very useful. Liquid fuel. Alright, now we kip up. And blast off. Did I need to flex that fancy? No. But I can. And that's what matters. So 66 and change, 6,700 Delta V is what I've got fully loaded. That is acceptable for what we're doing here. I can live with that. I was debating whether I wanted to stop at Ike or if I wanted to try to do a gravity assist off of Duna to go directly to Pol, which would be my next stop for fuel. But I feel like I don't quite want to push it that hard, especially being this is for a video. And if I end up screwing the pooch and having to go way back on myself and relaunch and just, yeah, none of that. So I'm going to warp to my transfer window for Duna. And we will get on our way to Ike. So this ship was actually born out of my... I have an ongoing project to build an Eve SSTO. And because you can't use jet engines at all on Eve, it inspired me to start building more rocket-powered SSTOs. And I realized that if you build an SSTO with no atmospheric engines and very little atmosphere, you know, little wings or control surfaces, you save a ton on your dry mass, and you actually end up with a ship that's reasonably efficient at in a vacuum. So let's go all the way around one more time. We're going to launch from here. So now let's get our maneuvers. We're gonna make our path. So we start on the trailing end of the line here, and then we start again on the trailing end of the orbit, and I'm going to escape like so. And if I keep pushing, then I should get my escape. There we go. Right parallel-ish with the sun. Waste as little bit of my power as I can, since I do have to go out anyway. I'll be doing a prograde burn as soon as I'm out of this. Getting a tiny little bit of gravity assist from Kerbin on the way out will save me a few pennies on this fuel. I could do my whole route from here, but only 18 minutes until my burn, and I like to... I mean, I guess I'm doing this for a video. It's not going to take me 18 minutes to set up my rendezvous anyway. But in case I screw something up, I want to have as much leeway as possible. So I'm going to escape, and then I'm going to set up the rest of my route to get to Ike. So now that we are on our solar orbit, we're going to set our target. And we're actually going to end up running in right up here. So this is going to be a very inexpensive transfer, relatively speaking. Depending on the time of year that your transfer window lines up in. Sometimes it costs like you can see, Duna has a very eccentric orbit compared to Kerbin, so it doesn't always line up quite nice. But in this case, it would appear... Oh, no. We're doing it the expensive way. Here I got all excited thinking I'm going to save myself with 200 or 300 in Delta V, but no, definitely not. There's my encounter. Let's get in here. We are prograde, cool. Get you. Oop. No. Oh, hey, look. What do you know? I'm gonna do this in one maneuver. I'll be getting a little bit less of a gravity assist from Duna's own gravity by transferring directly to Ike like this, but the fact that I can do it all in one transfer, in one maneuver, I think is going to end up saving me a little bit of fuel in the end. Either way, I have a ridiculous amount more than I need, so I'm not worried about it. And I ended up with a bunch of extra oxidizer, so even though I'm going to be really heavy, actually, I have my Ike station. So if I have way too much fuel and my thrust-to-weight ratio is borked, I might just drop off a bunch of fuel on my Ike station on the way out. Time warp complete. 1 minute 30 seconds? That can't be right. For 1,000 Delta V? Yeah, that's not right at all. My Delta V calculators are off. Yeah, 10 minutes. Okay, that's better. Yeah. This all comes from that stupid Delta V thing getting messed up when I was repairing it. But it seems to be good now. And over the course of an entire year, being off on my burn by 10 minutes is probably not going to cost me anything, realistically. Perfect. Alright, so there's that. Now let's time warp in, and hopefully it doesn't screw me up. But it looks like my orbit lines aren't getting jacked up, at least. Every once in a while, when this gets messed up, it also will mess up your orbits. And like, you click time warp, and your orbit will be maybe only a 1/10 of a meter per second off. But you saw how much of a difference that tiny bit makes from such a long way away. When you're trying to be fuel efficient about it, it's a bit annoying when that screws you. But we're good. What is that? Oh, that's a comet! Huh. That was cool. I've actually... comets have been in the game for kind of a long time now. I have never... That's the first time I've ever seen a comet. That's pretty neat. Something new every day. Welcome to Duna. Actually, I think most of these guys have already been to Duna. You've been to Duna. You've been everywhere. You've been to Duna. You haven't. It's too bad we don't have a science lab on board. Although there is a science lab on the Cuban, which is currently orbiting Ike. So I guess we can hopefully, possibly level you up there. As part of the point of this mission anyway. Get some levels up. Ike has a bit of spin to it, so I'm going to try to make sure I'm going to have to overshoot this LZ by a good distance. Fortunately, I have a ton of fuel, so it won't be too hard for me to rearrange myself a little bit if I need to. But that thrust-to-weight ratio is pretty low, even for Ike. Actually, I have a bunch, 82 Delta V in my vector yet, so I can use that. Yeah, so I'm going to hit that one pretty much right on the head. Ike is slightly larger than Minmus. Oh yeah, and the oh no, Ike it's not the one where it's, yeah, it is super screwed up. Sea level doesn't mean anything on Ike. I don't know if that's supposed to be like the lowest point of land anywhere on it, but on some of the moons it's, you know, average-ish, or it's low, but on Ike it's like 10 kilometers off. It's way off. Since I have basically unlimited fuel right now, I'm just gonna set this down really gentle. We'll go down to about 4 kilometers. 5 kilometers, because I'm paranoid. Good, we're slowing down fast enough. I think. I mean, I have that. Oh, crap. Boy, I almost did that very wrong. Okay. Now let's set down the other direction so that we're, no, that's right, that's right. Don't spin around too far. This is the wrong way to land a shuttle, but it is the only way to land in a vacuum. Ooh. And didn't smack the wheels too hard. Cool. Feel free to stop anytime, guys. Anytime. Neat. Do need to turn so I'm facing east. Ah, that flickering ground bug. I want to make sure I'm facing east to west so that as the solar panels rotate, they catch the sun all the way around. Cool. There we go. And we have made it to Ike. That wasn't so bad. So next stop will be Pole. I may go right from Pole to Laythe in the next video. We'll see. Do a 3-part, 4-part. Haven't decided yet. Depends on how long it takes to fill it all up, I guess. But until next time, happy flying. And try not to kill too many Kerbals. Edlu will thank you.